again, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So I'm up at the garden on a very cold and windy Sunday. We have had rain all morning, but today I'm going to be working in the hoop house. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to see how many ranunculus I can get planted in a couple hours. So I thought I would set the camera up and bring you guys along, show you how I plant them, where they're going, all of that. So the first thing we need to do is haul everything out to the hoop house, and then I'll get started. I do want to mention these should have been planted out like a couple weeks ago. I got so busy, and they'll be fine, but they're normally not this big when I plant them out. So anyway, let's get everything moved out to the hoop house, and then we will get started planting. I'm hoping to get a majority of these done today. All right, out we go. So the snow after the blizzard is definitely melting, and you can see I have a little narrow path that I can walk on here. All right, here we go out to the hoop house. I hope it's nice and warm in there right now. All right, well, I'm bundled up. It actually is not too bad out here. I'm hoping this works. The wind is whipping around through the property enough. My door doesn't latch the best, and it's kind of pulling it open, so I have a piece of concrete there. I'm really hoping it works. Otherwise, I might not even be able to be out here, but this center area of the hoop house is what I'm working with, and you can see a lot of green popping up. And in fact, let me grab the camera and show you some close-ups. I've showed this in some previous videos, but I want to show you in this video in case you're new to the channel. So this is what the center bed looks like right now, and you're probably thinking, boy, you better get that weeded. Well, no, this actually are plants coming up. If you're new to my channel, I had ranunculus winter over that I didn't pull the corms last year, and they are all coming up beautifully. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be planting the corms in the available spaces that are in and around these other ranunculus. And there's a lot of room. And in fact, from about here all the way down, oh my gosh, can you see the sides blowing? It is really windy. From about here on down, it's completely open where I did dig up the corms. So I'll have a lot of space there. But also, this is what I think is cress, and I'm going to have to thin this out a little bit, but I'm going to be leaving this because this is a wonderful filler, and these plants are going to be really strong since they self-seeded and came up on their own. So I'm going to also be planting around these. I also have like the biggest, bulkiest coat on because this is all I could find, and I didn't want to get my nice ones dirty. So I'm looking really great today. But now I just need to go inside of the building and bring my trays out here. I think I'm going to start by maybe just bringing 3 trays out and see how it goes. I really don't want my door to get ripped open, and I can't barrier it shut if I need to go in and out of it. And I'm not rolling the sides up today. So anyway, I'm going to transport the ranunculus out here, and then we'll get started, and I'll show you where I'll plant these. I also did just water this in a couple days ago. This soil, because it's in the hoop house, obviously does not get the snow and the seasonal rain, so it gets very, very dry if you do not water it throughout the winter season. So I soaked it a couple days ago, and it should be just dry enough that I can plant in it without it being too dry, but wet enough that it's not too dry, if that makes sense to you guys. All right, I'm gonna grab the ranunculus. We're gonna get started because it's not gonna get calmer. All right, I'm back in the hoop house. I brought 3 trays of ranunculus out. I have 4 more inside. So I'm gonna see how long this takes me to plant. It is 12:45 right now. Also, the second half of the bed where I don't have any ranunculus planted, I have not soaked that yet. Like I've been soaking where these are coming up, and yeah, this is nice and damp in here. So I need to do that today, and then I will be able to plant that probably tomorrow or Tuesday. But I'm gonna get started on these, and actually I wanna bring the camera over and zoom up because I wanna show you what the roots look like on these. And this is not how you want to plant them. All right, I'm zoomed in on this tray for you guys. And while they look leggy because they have been away from the lights, they look really healthy. But look at this. When I lift it up, those are the roots. And I have planted them worse than this, but These are going to be a little harder to tear apart than just if they probably had been planted a couple weeks ago. So this is not ideal, but again, it's not the worst. I have planted them way worse than this. So basically, all I'm going to do, and this is also not going to hurt these, is I'm going to pull out the individual ranunculus plants, put them in the ground. That's it. They are really tough, really hardy, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to pop them in the ground. I usually like to do about 3 to 4 inch spacing. Now I have a lot of plants, again, coming up in here. And so I'm just going to be kind of putting the plants around where the other ones are. And it should be nice and full by the time I get through these trays. So I'm going to get started. Let's see how long this takes me. I thought I had tags in my trays, but it looks like this one may have fallen out. This might be the bonbon one that I found on the floor in there. But most of these are the Amadine mix. They're either, I have the lemon, the bonbon, the purple jean, or the Amadine pastel mix. So a really great variety of colors this year. All right, let's see how long this takes me. These are actually coming out a lot easier than I thought. And I also should mention the lines that are through this bed, those are soaker hoses. I just left them down over the winter. They're not hooked up, but I'm trying to especially plant right on the sides of the soaker hose line, because when I do turn those on, obviously that's going to water the roots much better if it's closer to the plant. I like to pull a few apart at a time, and then I can plug those in faster. I've got one tray done and basically took half of the bed, maybe, at an 8-foot stretch, but everything is looking really good so far. I have 2 more left, and I think I'm going to grab a 4th one, and I'll probably do 4 today, 3 tomorrow. So I thought I'd zoom in a little bit for you guys. These are going really good. I have a nice stretch in the middle here where there are not a lot of corms, and so what I'm doing is I'm just breaking them apart, kind of spacing them where I want them along the soaker hose line. And some areas are easier to plant than others. Most of it's really loose, but yeah, they just plug right in. This stretch is a little bit drier than the edges. Now also I should mention, it's okay that I don't know exactly what variety these are, because I'm not selling these to a florist. I am my own florist, so if I just know they're going to be purple or pink or whatever, that's totally fine. All right, see how fast that stretch went? This is going really good. All right, so I'm starting on my last tray, and this is kind of where I wanted to end for the day, because from here to the end, the soil is not saturated. It's really, really dry. I have maybe 6 feet where I can plug this in, and there's not as many ranunculus coming up in this spot, so I think I'm going to be able to squeeze them in. I also see some empty space down there where I can kind of just line some along the edge. I may have to put my anemones somewhere else, and I'm wondering if I could put them in a raised bed on their own and tent them. Clearly not today, because it is getting windier outside. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see How far this stretches, this looks like it's the lemon and the more of the bonbon. The lemon is like a creamy yellow, really pastel yellow, and the bonbon I think is kind of a vibrant fuchsia. I have a picture up on the screen that you're looking at right now. I'm going to plug these in, and I think I'm going to call it quits for the day, but I will show you what this looks like when I'm done, and then I will also show you the edge of the hoop house for the plants that I have wintered over. Oh, and here's a tag right here from last year. Amidine mix. So it looks like some that are coming up are the Amidine mix, so I will have some brighter colors for this year too. Cool. All right, I'm gonna get these finished. All right, the 3 trays are planted. I got the exact area I wanted to fill today done. I would say the last third, I'm gonna squeeze as much in as possible. I think that I'll be fine, but I'll do that another day. So next, I just need to go get my water can and really soak this in. Some of the outside of the bed is really soaked, so I'm not necessarily gonna water that. I'm just gonna soak in the center, and then I'm gonna call it a day. So I'll water in and I'll give you a tour. All right, so there they are, all watered in. Gosh, this bed looks good. And you know, while it is not ideal to get things planted right by this cress, I'll thin it out, but I really want to utilize some of the stems because it's like free filler, and it will be beautiful with these ranunculus and campanula and everything else I have going on. So these are soaked in. These are going to be really happy. I should also add I did not harden them off. Ranunculus like to grow in cool temperatures, and it's like 50 degrees in here, so it's perfect. There's the last third of the bed, which I need to continue watering. That'll be planted in a couple days. And then as far as, try to move my camera slowly, as far as the rest of the hoop house, this is the Champion White Campanula, looking absolutely amazing. My gosh, if you guys don't plant this plant, you have to. It is awesome. And it got over 5 foot tall last year. The snapdragons, while they're looking just a little bit sad, they're starting to branch out and push new growth. I think that they will be just fine. So I think those were worth planting this fall as well. You can see these 2 rows died off from the cold, but I have plugs coming in about a week, and I'll just pop those in there. Same with this spot. Oh my gosh, the wind. I think it's getting worse. I hope you can hear me. And this dianthus is looking amazing. That was definitely worth planting. Look at the sides of my tent move. Oh my word. In my door, I have a piece of cement, a concrete intake, which you can't see there, but it's holding the door shut. Whoa, because that's what it does, and it would rip it right off today. All right, you guys, so that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I was planting in the hoop house right now and what is already growing and how it's doing. I hope you can hear me because of this wind. Holy cow, it is strong. Anyway, I'm gonna get cleaned up and get this hoop house buttoned up so it doesn't blow open, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.